So I'm Margot Ketchum from Phoenixville Area Time Bank. And the Time Bank is a local network of people who exchange services and use their talents to help each other fill their unmet needs. In the Time Bank, we have an interest, we have a number of activity groups of people coming together around different interest areas. And one of them has been helping each other to declutter and to just take a look at our stuff and work together to help improve our lives that way. So I want to first tell you our presenters here. We have Katja Weaver is a clutter clearing practitioner, and she's been trained by Karen Kingston, who's a world-renowned authority on clutter, and she's authored several books, one of which is called Clear Your Clutter with Feng Shui. Katja's background is in interior architecture, and she's certified in Feng Shui and home staging. And she lives clutter-free and walks her talk. And then we have Janice Hartman, who is one of Phoenixville Free Cycle group moderators. And she comes from a family, she says, she comes from a family of pack rats and works very hard to curb her clutter. So she'll freely admit that it's an ongoing struggle. Janice has been interested in recycling and reusing items all her life. And she's always happy when she can find a good home for something she no longer needs. So she's here to help others find new homes for their unwanted items. So with that, let's start with Katja. Katja. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you. Well, thank you for coming out this evening. And this is actually my first time speaking in front of adults. So, I talked to a 5th grade class once upon a time, and I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, and I was saying, I'm really nervous, I'm going to talk to these people. And even with my wedding, I couldn't remember my vows. It's like I had to go and read them. I get so nervous in front of people. So she said, well, you know what? Winston Churchill read all his speeches, and he was a very eloquent speaker. And I said, oh, well, if he's doing that, I'm going to read too. I might not be eloquent, but I'm going to read it, and I'll try to look up once in a while. Okay? So, first of all, does anyone know Karen Kingston or has read her book, Clear Your Clutter with Feng Shui? Okay. All right. Well, Karen Kingston's methods have taught thousands of people worldwide to live clutter-free. And I checked online and saw that the Chester County Library has 4 copies in circulation, so if anyone's interested in reading it. And so I have a few minutes tonight to speak about clutter, what it is, why it's a problem, how to clear it, and then Janice from Free Cycle will give you some options on what you can do with your stuff. So let me start with the 4 categories of clutter. The first is things you do not use or love. Things that are untidy or disorganized, too many things in too small a space, and anything unfinished. So, things that you do not use or love. Things that you love have a vibrant energy. On the other hand, things that are unwanted, unloved, forgotten, or neglected cause energy to stagnate. Things that are untidy or disorganized, well, what happens is it creates stress and confusion rather than peace and clarity. Too many things in too small a space. When you have too much stuff, your breathing becomes tighter, shallower, and you feel constricted in your life. There are 2 solutions. You can move into a larger space, or you can get rid of some of your stuff. Anything unfinished. Things unfinished in the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual realms clutter your psyche. This is a constant drain on your energy. The subconscious suppresses it, but it takes a lot of energy to do so. You get a big boost of energy when you complete unfinished projects. So here's why clutter is a problem. There's an energetic connection between you and your home and your belongings. Your home is a metaphor for your life. Everything on the outside is a reflection of something that's going on inside. Most people believe their clutter is an asset and that their things will become useful someday, but they don't realize how much their clutter is holding them back. Clutter attracts a low vibrational energy that has a sticky feel to it. The stagnant energy that accumulates around it will cause you to have a corresponding stuckness in your life. If you feel stuck in any aspect of your life and want to move forward, clutter clearing is one of the most effective ways to do this. By clearing out the old, you make room for new things to come into your life. So now I have a little story. I had a client that called me about a week after she had a heart attack. And she pleaded for me to come immediately because she thought that her heart attack was caused because of clutter in her house. She was so overwhelmed she didn't know where to begin. And she told me that she had been transferred from another state to manage a job in the area. Shortly after her transfer, she had a run-in with a coworker, and that ended up in her being let go and in a lawsuit. She was unemployed for years, and she grew more and more depressed. And then her home started accumulating more and more clutter. When I arrived at her home, we did a tour of her space and decided to start in her office. The floor was piled up with boxes and crates filled to the brim with God knows what, things she just didn't know what to do with. We worked systematically through each item, deciding what to do with all the stuff. Then we got to a big black plastic box. She didn't even know what was in it. When we opened it, she let out a gasp. It was all the papers from old job as well as the papers from the lawsuit. She forgot that she even had them. She decided to shred and recycle them. And I said, well, what about the box? Well, she said, well, it's a perfectly good box, isn't it? And then as she was saying that, she stopped and said to herself, now why would I want to keep it? It has such bad associations with it. A couple of months ago, I heard from her. After clearing out her home, her husband decided to take an early retirement. They purchased an RV. And they're traveling around the country having a grand old time. So, when too many things in your home are connected with your past, it's difficult to create a new tomorrow. Life starts stagnating and you get into a rut. Clearing clutter is about letting go of things that no longer fit who you are or where you're headed. It's about keeping things that represent who you are today and what you want to become. We eat, digest, and excrete. It's a natural process. If we don't excrete, what happens? We get constipated. And the same is true with our belongings. We have to follow a similar pattern with our stuff. Acquire things, use them, and let them go. But what often happens is people acquire, use, and keep. If we hold on to what no longer nourishes us, our homes become constipated, and we become stuck in a rut. We get overwhelmed, stuck in the past, feel tired, depressed, things get dusty, moldy, and it can start affecting our health, including our weight. When you clear your clutter and you put your world in order, corresponding changes are going on internally as well. Clutter clearing is not something you do just once and it's done. It's an ongoing process. Things that are useful to you today may become clutter as you grow and you change. Many things that people hold on to are of use to other people. By clutter clearing, you can put them back into circulation by selling them, gifting them, or recycling. Clutter is only a symptom. Professional organizers help people tidy and organize, but they don't help their clients discover why it accumulated in the first place. Without this realization, the clutter usually builds up again. Clutter clearing practitioners have a different approach. In addition to organizing, we help people understand why they have the clutter, how to clear it, and create new habits so it doesn't pile up again. There's always an underlying reason why people have clutter. A good question to ask is, when did the clutter start accumulating and what was going on in your life at that time? just gonna take a sip of water because my mouth is really dry. A client I worked with had a bag collection. Grocery bags, theme park bags, bags from various places the family visited.
Sounds
I asked her, what's with the bags? And she had to think about it a bit to see what made the bags so attractive to her. She realized that bags made wonderful hiding places. Her father used to throw out her stuff, thinking that he was being helpful in getting her organized. He would throw out what he thought was junk, but in reality it was still useful to her. She realized that if she would stuff her bags with her stashes, no one would ever take the time to go through them, and so the obsession began. The bags represented security to her. Another client I had a huge collection of scarves, drawers and drawers full. She felt vulnerable leaving the house without something around her neck. After delving deeper, she remembered that when she was a small child, she needed to be hospitalized. Her security blanket that she always had with her did not make it to the hospital with her, and after she got home, it was gone. This caused her quite a bit of trauma, and it translated into her needing to always wear a security scarf. I give these examples to show how we can go through life without even being conscious of why we collect certain things, which can get totally out of control. Bringing consciousness to the issue allows us to be awake. Now, when these two clients go out shopping, they don't automatically go buy bags and scarves anymore. They choose consciously. Now, I have some tips on how to get rid of it. Start small. A shelf, a drawer, a box. Larger areas can be broken down into smaller areas as well. Move through the items systematically, not jumping around. I work from left to right, top to bottom, and I zigzag across a surface or a room from one corner diagonally to the other. Decisions get made one item at a time. Don't pick up a second item until a decision is made about the first. A lot of you probably know about the 4-box system: keep, recycle, donate, and trash. I use a 10-box system. This is a little bit more refined. I'm not going to go into too many details about that. But I am going to tell you about one of my favorite boxes, which is called the transit box. A lot of people get really overwhelmed and they pick up their stuff and it's like, oh my gosh, this goes in the bathroom, and this goes in the library, and this goes here and there. And they're running around and they don't focus on what they have to do. So with the transit box, you place the items that belong in another room than the one you're working in, all the stuff that doesn't belong there. So for example, if you're working in your bedroom and you find dishes from the kitchen, or toys from the children, or papers from your office, you put it all into the transit box. After you finish clearing that space, you walk around your home and put everything back where it belongs. If the stuff doesn't have a place yet, you place it near where you want it to be in the future. Another thing you can do is set a timer for a short amount of time, 20 minutes for example. At the end of the 20 minutes, you can decide to either stop or work for another 20 if you feel energized. Working in small increments, you can clutter clear your entire home. It's just one word of caution: stop before you get tired, because you want to end each session feeling good, and then you'll be more likely to do more. Often depressed people keep their stuff on the floor, and they have downward hanging items, like plants and ornaments. If you're depressed, at least get your stuff off the floor. It'll uplift your energy right away. If you have a lot of clutter, you may experience being tired. It's the stagnant energy that's accumulated around it that's making you tired. When you let go of clutter, you will start feeling energized. There's a feel-good chemical that's released with each step that you take, and as you practice, you're building your clutter-clearing muscle. As you sort through your things, here are some useful maxims to bear in mind. A place for everything and everything in its place. One is enough. More is just stuff. If something new comes in, something old goes out. Now, that is only for maintenance. If you have a lot of stuff, one new thing, 10 old things, or however many. And I'm going to end up with one more story of a client whose husband died at an early age. After his death, my client was left with small children and went into a deep depression. She closed herself off, drew the shades, didn't open windows, and kept buying stuff for the kids to fill the emotional void. The house was full. There was an entire playroom filled, almost to the ceiling, full of stuff. You could barely walk in. I was working with her in the bedroom, clearing out a closet in her dresser, and we came across items from her husband that brought tears to her eyes. As we talked about the items, she said, "There's no one to take care of me." It was as if a secret had slipped out. She turned to me and said, "You heard that, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah." And I knew at that point that we're at a breakthrough moment. We talked about how she nurtured herself, and she said she doesn't. But she really used to love taking bubble baths. So at that point, her bathroom was a disaster. You couldn't even see the floor. So in we went, cleaning and clearing and making as much of a spa-like experience for her that we could. And it really lit her up. She felt so good. She signed up for a neighborhood yard sale. She told me anything that wasn't going to be sold was not coming back into the house. Her brother was thrilled that she finally started clearing out her stuff and hired a U-Haul truck for her, not a U-Haul, 1-800-GOT-JUNK trucks. After the yard sale, she filled the truck to the brim and sent me a photograph of her accomplishment. That's it. And now we have maybe a few minutes for a few questions, if anyone would like to ask anything. Yes?
What if you don't love it, but it was a gift from someone that's still alive?
Well, you have to realize it's your life and your space. If you don't love it and it's a real friend, and you throw it out, and they don't want to be your friend anymore, they weren't your friend to begin with. And if they were your friend, they'll understand that you don't want clutter. Yes?
Well, I relate in another sense, because I have all these things that were mother's, and she hung on to them, and so then they got divided up between us kids, and I have traveled a lot over the years, and all I've done is carry them with me. And so finally I'm realizing I don't have to do that anymore, and I pick and choose what I really want to keep.
Good for you.
The stamp collection will be a challenge, but
Maybe for someone from Free Cycle might want that.
I don't want to give it up. I just
Okay.
need to figure out how to downsize it.
Yes. Yes.
Hi, I was able to relate with the stagnant energy. My energy became stagnant while my husband was alive and he was ill, and I bought things like a therapy shopping to kind of forget about what we're going through. And I'm hitting the yard sales and Goodwill, and look, honey, look what I got, you know. And there's never any place to put it, so it just accumulated. And then he passed away, 2013, and I would say it was September. I don't know if it was that Christmas or maybe the following Christmas. But, you know, when you get your Christmas things out, you're like, where am I going to put this? And it's like, there's nowhere to put this, you know. And it just started dawning on me how everything was so crowded and how everything already changed for me. And it's like, oh, no, this has got to stop, you know. And I just started, it's like, I've got a Ninja and a blender. I have a toaster oven and a toaster. It's like, this stuff could go in the back room and put it away, what I'm not using. And I started rethinking everything. And it's a long haul, you know. It's coming up 4 years and I'm still getting rid of stuff.
But bit by bit.
Bit by bit.
Bit by bit, and being conscious.
Yeah.
It's really important to be conscious. It's like, are you going, when you're shopping, do I have a place to put it when I come home?
Yeah.
Or am I just buying it because it's a good deal? You have no
That's
idea
right.
how many price tags I see on people's clothes that have been hanging there for years and no one even tried it on. Because it was a good deal.
Yeah.
But it's taking up expensive real estate,
Yeah.
so. Yes, Rachel.
That just reminds me because we did talk a little bit about the time bank, I believe, and hearing Ramona speaking, I just realized part of what we've been developing is support for people who
Yeah,
are gonna launch some
Right.
kind of,
it can
you know,
become
clearing out.
emotional.
Yeah,
Because
that's-
we are so associated with our stuff. And But the thing is, once you release, once you let go, you're free. It gives you energy and freedom and you can live again.
That's true, because when I would come across stuff that I wasn't dealing with after he passed away, and I had to go through those papers, or I had to go through his tools, you're falling apart and everything, and then it's like, all right, now I'm gonna come across another batch of stuff, his clothing or whatever, and you fall apart. Then it got to be, like, I can handle this, and you just keep working.
Because
Like,
you're
the few of the
dealing with
ladies
your
in Time
emotions.
Bank have been working with me, and, you know, when I just had to move 8 months ago, and didn't have time, I was told to move because they wanted to up the rent exponentially, because we're in Phoenixville. And I had no time to get rid of things quickly and make money on it, and I didn't know what to do. My friend that was helping me said, bring it all with you. So I happened to move into this place with this huge basement, put it all in the basement, my attic, my basement, and my garage, full of stuff, and dumped it all down there. And then the new landlord came along to work on the boiler, and his face was like blank, and he's like, you can't keep that stuff down there. I'm like, oh, come on. So now I'm just, working away at it. It's a nightmare but it's coming along, and I feel very positive about it. So it's a blessing to have help and support. It really does.
Yes.
Well, there's another dimension to your start small, because I've been doing a little this and a little that, feeling like I'm getting nowhere. Well, my older sister said, pick some big things that you want to get rid of, because I'm downsizing so I can eventually travel, and I don't want to have stuff to worry about. So I picked 3 pieces of furniture to empty, and I've actually emptied all 3 of them, and I had to tell myself, like, the one of them had photographs in it, like, I am not storing the photographs, but I put them all in one place, got rid of tons of negatives, because I don't think I'm ever going to use another negative. And I've emptied all 3 of them, and one of them, after I emptied it with the intention to get rid of it, I suddenly thought, there's my solution for the bureau I don't want. I'll use that instead. So now I'm going to be emptying the bureau into that. So it gives you, you're doing one drawer at a time, which is small, but you see your progress because.
Right, you want to see the progress, right? And try it with a timer.
Oh, I do the
You
timer
do the
thing
timer,
too.
okay. All right. Good.
Can you say something about feng shui, Katya?
Well, sure. Well, I'll tell you, when I started working with feng shui, and feng shui, I don't know, probably all know what it is?
No.
That you don't know what it is. Okay. It's really having the flow in your home or your office or wherever to be at ease. It really means wind and water. It's a Chinese way of life. And there are, oh my gosh, I'm like not prepared for this at all. Okay, you're trying to create a beautiful space where you walk in and it's like, this feels good to me, okay? Sometimes you walk into a place and it's like, ick, right? And sometimes it's like, wow, this feels good. And there are certain things that you can do to make it happen, okay? And there are rules in feng shui that make things work well. And when I started working feng shui, I would walk into people's places and they have so much stuff that the energy can't move. If the energy can't move, you can't have good feng shui. So I started clutter clearing because I can't get to the feng shui until you get the clutter out. Nothing is going to feel good if you're constricted. So first you clear it out, and then you can start placing furniture in certain areas and putting different elements in your home and really making it energized depending on different aspects of your life.
Actually, Karen Kingston was one of the first well-known feng shui authors in the English. She's a British nurse. And Ed wrote many books about feng shui, and then herself
Right.
came to this, wait a minute, it's like there's no point,
Right.
in not dealing with
the clutter. I think when she wrote another book, the response that she had on the chapter on clutter was so huge in proportion to all the other chapters, is that this is what
That's
moved
where
her
she
forward.
focused.
That's where she focused. And she's a very special person because she has gifts that a lot of us don't have, where she can really sense, she can smell, taste,
So you've met
feel.
her?
Yes, she's my teacher.
Mhm.
We are in contact on a weekly basis. And she can actually feel with her hands, she can read with her hands and tell
Mhm.
you what happened.
Mhm.
So she has an extra gift. Okay, anything else? Okay. Janice.
I'm Janice Hartman, and I am one of the Phoenixville Free Cycle moderators. How many people know what Free Cycle is? Oh, yay, good. Okay, so for those of you that don't, freecycle.org, or the Free Cycle Network, I'm gonna read two, so I don't forget, is an online community whose purpose is to keep physical items out of the landfill by providing an internet listing service to help people give unwanted items to somebody else for free. So it's, as you've gone through the clutter clearing process that Katya described, you have your several boxes, you have your keep, you have your donate, you have your sell, and then you have your giveaway box. So I'm gonna kind of focus on the giveaway box, like how do you give away your stuff? A lot of us have things that are useful, but we just don't know how to get rid of it. And FreeCycle is a forum for people to do that. What it does is it connects people who have things to give away with people that need things. And I'm gonna pull up the computer in a couple of minutes and walk you through the website so you can see how it works. FreeCycle is like a Craigslist, but it's only for free stuff. The whole thing about FreeCycle is in the name. It's free. It works two ways. You can post an offer for something you no longer want, or you can post a wanted for something that you need. Then if somebody has something that you need, you can respond to them via email, and you work out the details on how to get it. And consequently, if somebody has something that you are offering, they will contact you by email, and you will get it. Now, I'll give a real quick example. I used to sew a lifetime ago, and I don't anymore, and I had a box in the corner of my closet of fabric scraps, just pieces of fabric that I was gonna do something with someday, and I never did.
Just one box.
I've lived a lot, so yes, I had whittled it down. So I was looking through the FreeCycle site, and I saw that a woman had posted a wanted. She was looking for fabric to make quilts for memory impaired adults. I'm thinking, I have a box of cotton that would be perfect for quilts. So I emailed her, told her what I had, and a day later she came and picked it up, and she was very happy. So I got it out of the corner of my closet. I gained some really good real estate, and she has material to help other people with. So that's how it works. The FreeCycle community is divided into local groups. This allows for a lot of really good local community building because the groups are all local. It keeps the stuff out of the landfills, and it helps you meet your neighbors. A couple of years ago, I had a lot of extra plants in my yard. I had some purple coneflower and some black-eyed Susans, so I put them up. I hated to just pitch them. And Tom Carnival, who's one of the architects in town, came to my house and picked them up because he wanted some black-eyed Susans. Well, 6 years later, I'm using Tom to help me rehab a house. So it just, it just keeps on going round and round. And he remembered when I saw him today, he says, your flowers are growing great in my yard. So who is FreeCycle good for? FreeCycle is good for anybody who is interested in keeping things out of the landfill. As Margot said in my introduction, I love to reuse and recycle things, and I've been like this since I was a kid. I did one of the first Earth Days, I remember back when I was in high school, and rode my bike to school that day and did a little presentation on how to reuse things. FreeCycle is also good for people who have good usable items that they no longer need that somebody else can use. It's great for not-for-profits. Not-for-profits always need something. They have a limited budget. It's just a really good way for them to get what they need. Good example is somebody on the King of Prussia FreeCycle site offered like 30 cases of copy paper this year, which is a lot of money if you have to go out and buy it. So I contacted some of the not-for-profits that I keep in touch with in town and said, hey, there's this post here, if you guys need copy paper, check it out. FreeCycle is really good for people who just moved and might need some things for their house. It's also good for people who are moving and don't want to move everything to their new place. It's a great resource for artists, because you never know what people want to use in their creations. It's really good for people who are working on a project around the house and need a small amount of material. There was a post recently for somebody that wanted like a 2x4 piece of drywall. He just needed, I guess, to patch a wall and just needed this small piece. Well, I would be the type of person who would hold on to my drywall after a project because I might use it someday, but here was somebody who could use it. So instead of going out and buying a whole 4x8 piece of drywall, he found somebody that had the 2x4 piece that he needed. It's also really good for people who have stuff who don't want to do a yard sale, either because of where they live or because of the time and effort that a yard sale takes, and they have usable items and they're just willing to give them away. And it's great for people that are interested in recycling, because your stuff finds a new home. So what kind of things are on FreeCycle? FreeCycle works for anything that is free, legal, and appropriate for all ages. The popular postings, like the most popular posting is moving boxes. And it's a great example of recycling, because when you move, buy all these boxes, put all your stuff in them, and then you have this stack of boxes. So what do you do with them? You know, you can recycle them. You know, I live in Schuylkill Township, so you know they have a recycling bin outside the township center. But they cost money, and if you're moving, you know, it's expensive to move, so why not get something that somebody else has? So moving boxes, both wanted and offers, are probably the most voluminous post on there. And I'm sure that some of those boxes move around 5 or 6 times by the time they get through. Plants are really popular, especially in the springtime. You know, if you're thinning out your plants and have extras, it's a great way to get them. Kids' clothes and toys, baby clothes, craft supplies, leftover building materials, styrofoam peanuts. You know, when you get a package in the mail, there's all those styrofoam peanuts in it. They're really popular. A lot of small businesses will ask for styrofoam peanuts so that they can package it for their stuff from their home-based business. Computers, there was a post one summer, this comes up a lot in the summertime, jam jars, when people are making homemade jam. They want jars, and they wind up being expensive when you go out to buy them. And I know I keep all my extras in the bottom of my pantry, so you know that's another good one. Furniture is really popular. A lot of dressers. I don't know if people don't use dressers anymore, or they just get rid of them. But those are just types of things that are out there. It's really anything that's free and legal. On the table coming in, I posted just a quick snapshot of something from the FreeCycle site in April of what people were offering and then what people wanted. Personally, I have gifted tons of things. About 6 years ago, I had to clean out my uncle's estate, and he was a hoarder. And it was this 90-year-old row house, had been in the family for 90 years, and it was filled to the gills. And it took me Saturdays over the course of a year to clean the house out. And I recycled a lot of stuff. I recycled a lot of stuff. I didn't have time to do a yard sale, so most of it went to a thrift store. But I watched the Phoenixville and other local area wanteds, and I got rid of a lot of things just by answering people's wanteds. My favorite story is I had 3 boxes of bowling trophies from my uncle, and it's like, what do you do with a bowling trophy? You can't repurpose it into something. So I couldn't bear to throw them out. So I brought them home, much to my husband's chagrin. And don't you know that a week later, there was a post from a not-for-profit that was holding a bowling fundraiser, and they were looking for trophies. So I emailed the lady, and she happily came and took my 3 boxes of bowling trophies. So the point of that story is you just never know. You just never know. And I don't know that I would have thought to have posted the bowling trophies. I guess after I tripped over them a few times, I might have. But you know, if you just get on and read the posts, you'd be amazed what you can get out of your house. Just amazing. It's not just about giving things away. You can ask for things too. To really work well, like the example I just talked about, FreeCycle needs both offers and wanteds. And my favorite saying about FreeCycle is one person's trash is really another person's treasure. You just never know. So there were a lot of local groups. On the board out front, I highlighted the Pennsylvania listing, and I talked about, I highlighted the local groups. So there's like a Phoenixville group that has about 2,800 members. And not all these people post all the time. There's a lot of people that just read. Collegeville has about 2,100. Westchester has about 4,000. It's a really big group. King of Prussia has about 3,500. Norristown has about 2,100. So you can belong to more than one group. I belong to all 5 of those, and I just monitor the posts. How do you know what is out there? Everything is on the website. There's, and I'll pull up the website in a minute. There's a tab for offers and a tab for wanted, and it's open to anybody. All you need to do is browse the site. If you want to respond to a post, you need to belong to a group, and it's free and easy to join. And you have 3 options to learn about new postings. You can get an email every time somebody posts something to the site. You can get a daily digest that comes overnight of what got posted that day. And that's my preference, is, I just get one from each group each day. It's easy to scan. Or you can just opt out of the email and just go on the website and check periodically. So, kind of whatever your preference is. So how do you do this process of exchanging stuff? You respond to the post via email, and I'll show you how to do that. There's actually a post that I was going to respond to, so I'll kind of walk through it and show everybody how you do it. So you just respond directly with the person who made the post. It's usually through email, and then sometimes I'll put my phone number in and call people. For your safety, the moderators encourage meeting people in public spaces with plenty of light and people around. A lot of the local police departments will act as a meeting place for Craigslist, for Free Cycle, whatever. And that's probably the best option. I've actually used the lobby of the library a lot to meet people. It's a safe place, it's public, it's convenient to everybody. I live up by the G Lodge, so sometimes I'll use that parking lot. But just, be aware of your personal safety. That's all I would say. A lot of people do porch pickups where they just leave something on their porch, front step, whatever. It's up to you, and depending upon where you live. Ramona.
Hi, I just want to make a comment. I'm aware that the one police place, I think it's Upper Providence, they actually have the meeting and it has a sign, and they have a camera. So that camera sees who you're meeting, and that's very nice.
Perfect, I did not know that, okay.
Where is that?
I think it's considered Upper Providence.
Like
Police,
Black
it's
Rock
on
Road.
Black Rock Road,
Yeah.
or whatever the name is, it's
Yeah.
on Black Rock Road, yeah.
Oh, right, it's right.
Between like 29 and 113, I
Right,
guess.
yes.
I think one of the Pikeland townships also does that.
Yeah. So if you're in doubt, just call, and I'm sure they'd be happy to answer your question, and, and if not, maybe it's something they'll start doing. Yeah. So, Free Cycle's run by volunteers. Day-to-day decision-making is made by the local groups. We have moderators who check the messages to make sure that they're appropriate. So most people, when they post, they just automatically post. I read all the messages to make sure that they're appropriate. Sometimes something slips through. There was one recently where somebody wanted to sell something, and one of the members brought it to my attention that somebody was asking for money, so I emailed the member and took the post down, and that was fine. No fees. So let me show you how it works. This screen on.
Is the laptop on?
I haven't used it for a while.
Here,
You turn the screen off.
I need to get down. Here, excuse me.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, no,
Okay,
okay,
I'm good.
okay. I'll have to get back up again. Thanks.
I'm gonna flip one of those lights off so there's not so much glare. Mark told me. I think it's the center one. I think that one would be good. Okay. I'm trying to sit over here. So, it's pretty easy. It's Free Cycle Network. freecycle.org. And this is the main page that comes up, so you can just look for a group near you. Now Phoenixville's too long to spell out, so I just put the zip code in. And it comes up with Phoenixville. So if I click on this, it brings up the Phoenixville site. So this is what the site for the Phoenixville group looks like. And you can see that over here, it tells you whether it's a wanted or an offer. There's a brief description. And then if you want more detail, just click See Details. And there's more of a message. I'd love to use any black-eyed Susans or lambs here that you can thin out. Okay. So that's what it looks like. You can scroll through. And, you know, we have 109 postings right now. You can also sort just for what people are offering, and it just pulls up the offers. Or you can go to Wanteds, and it just pulls up the Wanteds. So when I'm in a clutter clearing mode, I just pull up the Wanteds and see if there's anything I have that somebody wants. So, anybody can
Ooh, I
get
got an
on
air
and,
conditioner.
pardon me?
I got an air conditioner.
Oh, okay, well, you can respond tomorrow, Joel.
Weighs a ton.
So anybody can go on the website and look to see what's there. If you want to respond, you have to join the group, okay? And it's very easy. So if you want to join the group, you hit sign in, sign up, log in. And then if you're already in the group, you sign in here. And if you're not, you just go to the sign up form and create your account. So you just need a username. You can make up any username you want. You can put your email address in, add a password, and just do a little I'm not a robot thing, and you're in. Some of the groups moderate their new members, some don't, so it might take like a couple hours for you to get a response. But if you're in the group already, and you log in and you want to respond to a post, so I'm going to show you how to respond to a post. So that's my username. So you just log in. So, say I want to respond to this one, because I actually do have some lambs here that I would like to get rid of. So you just click on here, you click on the post, and then to respond, you hit reply to this post, and you just type in a message. I can't spell.
But this is going to go to their email.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So when you sign up, you put your email in so that when somebody responds, it goes directly to your email. So everybody in the community doesn't see the response, it's just the person that you're responding to. I can't type tonight.
Can I ask, is this cell phone friendly, mobile friendly, or just computer friendly?
It's all email friendly, but you could put in, if you wanted to, your phone number and say text me or call me. But it's set up to be email.
Okay.
So I'll just put my name in.
Were you asking if you can see it on your phone?
Yeah, I guess I mean that way, like, is it like compatible to see everything properly on your phone?
On your phone, yes.
Sometimes they just kind of like
No,
float
it's very
around and they
phone
don't want to
compatible.
cooperate. Okay.
I look at it on my phone all the time.
Okay, great.
So I just hit send, and
Now, when they receive that, they're able to respond directly to you?
yes, they will
without
get
you-
an email, and then they can just respond right back.
So that person gets so many lambs ear plants that they don't need to think about that wanted
Right.
anymore. What do they do so that they don't keep getting people offering lamb's ears?
But they can take their post down. So I have a couple of posts up there.
Is that part of the etiquette lesson?
Yes.
That you had
Yes.
up on the stage?
So I have some posts here, okay? So I can manage my post. So I can click manage,
Oh, okay.
and I can say cancel and remove, and it'll just disappear.
Okay.
Or what a lot of people do is they say mark as taken and remove. So, and posting goes on the site that says, you know, lamb's ear, this has been received. Or, you know, my speakers, then I would say speakers, this has been taken.
Uh-huh.
I can see where they polished this up a little bit,
Have they?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's really how it works.
Is there a search feature? So if you're looking, so you don't have to go through everything?
No.
Okay.
It's not that sophisticated. Free Cycle is run by a not-for-profit group, so it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that you would like. I mean, I would love to be able to put in speakers and find a list of speakers. It doesn't. That is probably the only thing that is not great about it. But, so there's on the Phoenixville one, we go to, I go down to the bottom here, right, I'm just standing from the screen. There's, you know, there's 109 results, and there's about 10 on the page. So it's not too bad to look through. And if you split it between offers and wanteds, kind of narrow down, it takes it down less than that. So, yes?
Now, I'm sorry.
I'll take the back one first.
Okay, in theory, if you can't search it, couldn't you just Control F it and type in like speakers and then it would filter it without like an actual search option through the website?
It wouldn't actually filter it, but it would highlight
Would it-
when it
they, like,
finds that
highlight it?
word.
I don't know. Do you want to come up and try that?
Like if you type in, do Control F and
Yeah, if
hit
you-
love seat, because I just saw that down there.
Let's see.
Now try typing in seat, S-E-A-T.
Seat in the front of it?
No,
No,
just
seat.
get rid of,
She's
She's on a
got
different-
speakers.
Oh,
I know, but there's no matches found.
oh.
So,
Erase speakers?
But she
Yeah.
has,
But I had speakers up there.
Because it's
Not on
probably
this
not on
page.
that, yeah.
it only will search the page.
That page, okay, so, how about if I say monitor?
Yeah, so it like
There,
highlights it.
perfect. Okay. Oh,
You'd have to
thank you.
do that on each page then,
Okay,
but it's better than,
okay.
Scrolling through all the posts.
Yes, okay, no, great idea, thank you.
You're hired.
Somebody else had a question up front?
oh, when I receive email notifications, it's only a few, so isn't the list long because there's a whole bunch of stuff that hasn't been picked up and?
Right, the email notification comes out on a daily basis, so it's whatever was posted in the last 24 hours.
So it makes it more manageable if you're checking it on a daily basis.
Exactly, exactly. So if you sign up for the email digest, then you look through 1 to, say, 12 postings.
Because I've never been overwhelmed by it, but then I've never gone on Recycle to look. I've just based my decisions on any emails I've got.
Oh, okay. Chris?
I'm on Free Cycle, but I'm not getting the regular updates. Where could I go to sign up for the daily?
My group.
Let me look, I've done this. My info. What's on here? It is on here. I'm on
I think it is under my groups.
My groups, thanks. Yes, here you go, my groups. So if you go to your groups, you can say, change settings. then you can say email digest, one for each post, or email digest, or not.
All right, thank you.
So your three choices. Thank you.
Cool.
Anybody else?
Yeah, if you're checking this maybe Monday through Friday, how long, I'm sure you get quicker at scanning the free cycle opportunities, on offers, et cetera. How much time does it take you?
Not long. If you do it Monday through Friday, and then say Monday you're gonna come back again,
Right.
and you're just doing one group,
Maybe two.
maybe 5 minutes most. It really doesn't take long. If we go back to all items, you can see here, there's the dates. So this was from Sunday through today. That's actually a pretty good activity. So if you're looking at one screen, so say it's 2 days over the weekend, this is 2 days worth of activity, as long as it would take you to scroll through that. And it's easy to go around to your, if you're in a bunch of groups, you can just go to your groups and click on the next group. And now we're in Collegeville. And just see what's there. So it's pretty fast. Margot.
So maybe you could borrow Rachel's handouts and tell people what's in the handout.
I thought I was gonna do that.
Oh, you can? Okay. Well, I will turn it over to Rachel. So, the members of the Phoenixville Area Time Bank Activity Group have put together 2 resources for you.
I think a lot of you have picked it up already. Now, this is your starter kit, right? Because, and it's not definitive at all, but it's a great starter. Like, it'll just give you lots of ideas of, oh my goodness, there are all kinds of different ways to get rid of things that you want to get rid of. So, we did come up with a few categories that aren't in here yet, or subcategories. Electronics is a pretty broad, actual topic. And there are usually pickups for electronics run by the county or even your township. Nobody takes old TVs, I have to say, right now. But you can carpool with some friends and take those heavy old TVs out to the
You know what I did with my
Lanchester.
TV? I broke it into little pieces and put it in the trash can.
That is so dangerous.
Probably not what you want to do.
But, well, the thing is that Chester County Solid Waste Authority now is taking a lot of stuff without charging for it. If it's a refrigerator that you haven't been able to figure out, how to give it back to Pico, they might charge you because of the refrigerant fee. But what the county does is basically find a way to take these things apart and sell the metals. And depending on the market for the metals in electronics, it's more or less welcome. And what happened was, about a year ago, the metals that are used in electronics became more expensive. So it was then worth it to the county to take them for free.
Right.
Now, how long that situation's gonna last, I don't know. And there are other recycling places that charge a very nominal fee, and that's in here. But Staples will take anything office related. So any old monitor, any old office phone, printer, fax machine, anything that is office equipment, they will take at Staples.
And they also take ink toner and cartridges.
Yes, that's right, and that
Yes.
didn't get in there.
Yeah.
They actually, if you, if you take your empty cartridge, they will give you, a little credit.
Yeah, it's like 3 cents, but it adds up.
No, it does, it's more than that. I mean,
$2 a cartridge.
But you
$2
have
a
to, you have to
cartridge.
buy your ink there too. Like, if you have to buy like $30 worth of
That-
ink in the last 6 months.
yeah.
It's,
Uh-huh.
it's not that much, cause I don't, I mean, I don't spend a lot of money. But, anyway, you could even, you put out an ad on FreeCycle, I'll take your ink cartridges,
That's
cause
what
people
I-
don't wanna be bothered.
That's what I did with my printer, because it seems like I spend more time, you can get the printer for next to nothing, and then you could spend an arm and a leg
It's all on
on
the
the ink.
cartridges.
So I just let somebody have my printer, and I just go to Staples and copy stuff, it's a whole lot cheaper.
Good ideas. Let's see, I also wanted to point out, there's a textile, a big textile recycling, information, that's in the back here on the textile. But one thing that isn't here is, okay, you're decluttering and you've got blankets and sheets that are beloved, that's why they're still in your house, but you're never going to put them on your beds, and nobody else is going to either. I mean, it's like, you know, they're ratty. Well, every pet shelter needs those. And we don't have a list of them, there are many shelters and, you know, places that have their animals, needing, those items. And towels. So that's what subheading of textile. And the other big interesting piece of news, and this is new, I know in my clutter, I have old video that are VHS. Most people don't even have a VHS player anymore, it's all
I have
DVD.
3.
I have one, but it's not even hooked up because it's old television. But I won't get rid of those tapes because at one time they cost a lot of money and they're things that I kind of like to see again someday before I die, whatever. But that takes a lot of space. Also records, for which there is a big market now, and there's a resource listed here. People are buying records, used records. But then I have these records that are, you know, the history of my family's taste in music. And they weigh about a ton. And it used to be rather expensive to convert your vinyl into something digital. Well, your very own library we're sitting in has just started a digital conversion lab. I put a couple of these flyers on the table, but they're upstairs too. You can convert, well, LPs, remember that term, cassettes, VHS tapes, film negatives, or slides gathering dust. Because, and.
Hold up the dust.
So I know this is sort of maybe recluttering, if you could say, but when I realized I could do this, I realized I can let go of most of what's still in my collection, because I will be able to
Still here.
Convert.
Yeah, that, I noticed that they do slides and while I took all the pictures out of that one piece of furniture, I resisted the temptation to run down here with all my slides and do that right away.
Oh, you're so honest.
But
Anyway, it's 50 cents per disc. And it used to be $25 to go to a service, so 50 cents. I mean, I'm
Even like a
inspired
tape,
now, it's
50
like,
cents
okay,
tape.
that's gonna be my next, my next project.
Mom, there's a lady right there. She had a question.
I just said 50 cents like a VHS tape?
Per disc.
You can purchase.
So I don't know.
You can purchase a disc here.
Maybe it's,
To purchase the disc, that's how much it is. It's free to actually do the conversion.
it's free.
Just remember.
Do we drop it off?
No. You sit there and do it. And remember, remember that it is real time. So if you have a VHS movie that you want to convert
Yeah.
to digital, and it's 2.5 hours, you will sit there for 2.5 hours.
And read a
Yes.
book.
Yes. Yeah.
Then you'll really figure out if you wanna do it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, there we go.
That's great. Anyway, you would call Mark Pinto at his extension and schedule a demo. So, this is just so cool.
Earlier, you were talking about large TVs,
Mhm.
and we have one. Obviously, we know that to our township and county, they're not taking them. And I've done some research, and you just started to say Lancaster landfill.
It's the big landfill that is shared by Chester County and Lancaster County. It's right near Honeybrook. It's the whole edge, western edge away. Western edge
They're
of Chester
taking
County.
TVs from which counties? Like from any-
Yes, you do have to show that you're a resident of Chester County or
I'm Montgomery.
you're
County.
Montgomery. Well, I would call your county, people, and call them, I think the number is in here, the waste management. Call them and just find out what the information is. They will take 3 items, and it's not just TVs, they'll take other electronics as well.
Oh, Lancaster landfill, or you?
It's, so they call it the Lanchester landfill,
Okay.
and it's, as I say, it's about as far west in Chester County as you can go,
Okay.
which is why it would be a good thing to carpool.
Okay.
Are you a member of the Time Bank?
No, no.
We're trying to put together a group of people with large vehicles and some young, strong people.
Yeah.
They will not unload your big TV once you get there. You're kind of responsible for getting it.
that would be a truck to get there, and we'd have to come back.
Yeah.
You can't now.
Recruiting able-bodied.
I have 2 strong young sons, but they're in college right now, so they don't have the time to do that. And they could do the TV though, and so they wouldn't have to do it at the landfill, yeah.
Me? I was just gonna suggest for her that since she's in Montgomery, and maybe she has a friend in Chester, and the friend will do it for her, with her. You know, say it's hers, something like that.
Yeah. And they may have their
Stand
own, and they may have their own arrangement now in Montgomery
In
County.
Montgomery County.
I was gonna say, I got reminded, Whole Foods did like an e-recycling day, and so I would contact Whole Foods, and I think they do it twice a year, something like that. And I just took my old TV and they took it.
Nice.
And I think Best Buy charges you maybe $10 or something like that.
Yes, right, Best Buy is in here,
Yeah.
I thought I had tried to get rid of things at Best Buy, and they said you have to go to Delaware.
Oh, I
That's
know.
true, they've changed their policy.
Yeah, you have to go to Delaware.
You have to
versus
take it to
the-
Delaware.
Always call first. That's my advice.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Janice, do you want to say about that?
Just have, one more piece of information. There's a brochure on the table out front, and it's just a quick summary of real quick summary of some places to sell, donate, give away, and recycle your things. And really, the internet is your friend in this. If you just Google whatever you're trying to get rid of, it'll pop up a dozen places. And just, keep on looking and call people. My biggest advice is just call before you go. If you're donating something to a thrift shop, just call, find out what their hours are, what their limits are, like that. If you're taking something to Best Buy, call and make sure they're taking something. Call the landfill, make sure they still accept it. But just call and ask. But the internet really is a fabulous resource. When I started getting ready for this talk, I found all my old folders of newspaper and magazine articles about places to recycle, and I just realized all that stuff was on the internet, and I didn't need my paper anymore.
And you
So you threw
decluttered
it out.
And I decluttered, yes. Ramona?
Yes, I just wanted to add that I don't know if everybody's Facebook savvy, and if they are on Facebook, do you know about the Facebook yard sale sites? Because if you don't want to give it away, you might have that opportunity to sell it. Because I've been doing very well with things like that. I sold old aquarium things and a bicycle, and and then you could do either porch pickup or meet them somewhere, and that's handy.
Yeah, so I know there's a Phoenixville Phoenixville Virtual Area Yard Sale?
Yeah, and Collegeville's got a ton of them.
Okay.
And Kimberton, Phoenixville, different things. And then once you're on one, then it gives you suggestions, or your friends might be on them, and then you just start seeing them. Click on them and add.
There's just lots and lots of resources out there. It just sometimes might take a little time to figure out the right place to get rid of your stuff. But, you can sell, you can donate, you can recycle, you can give it away. There's just lots of ways to do it. And, the yard sales are really popular. I know in Kimberton every year there's always like a group yard sale. Washington Memorial Chapel in Valley Forge Park does 2 group yard sales a year for like $10 a table. You get a space and you can sell your stuff, and the Valley Forge Volunteer Fire Association does it once or twice a year too. So those are usually pretty good ways. The more traffic you can get in a group site, the better. Get together with your neighbors and do one in your neighborhood. They are a lot of work though.
Marga, you had everybody sign a sheet. I think you need to be clear that that was for the time bank. And
Yeah.
you might want to say something more about orientation.
Okay, so there is a sign-up sheet, and if you did put your name there, there's the last column to say what you're specifically interested in. And if you want professional help, you have Katja, and she has her business cards here. Or if you want resource information, Janice and Rachel and others in the time bank are available for you. If you want to join the time bank, we have orientations every second Saturday, every month on the second Saturday at 2 o'clock at Orion Communities on Bridge Street. And if, like that. So just call us up, and we'll be happy to hear your interests and talk more about this decluttering and helping our planet.
So the time bank orientations are at the Orion House, when?
At 2 o'clock on the second Saturday of every month.
We're also at the farmer's market every week. So
The
you
table.
can go to the farmer's market table and find out more.
So thank you for coming.
Thank you.